Hey guys, it's Ben from Watchin' Life, and today I wanted to discuss the crazy hype going around the Rolex Submariner, specifically the Rolex Hulk. Ever since the release of the new Submariners on September 1st, the prices of the Hulks have been going out of control. I want to dive into why these Hulk prices have been skyrocketing and whether the hype is worth it or not. It's important to note that even before the release of the new Rolex models, the price of the Hulk has been steadily rising until it eventually surpassed $20,000. I think as of the recording of this video, many Hulks are going for around $24,000. Before we further dive in, let's do a quick customary wristwatch check. And today I have the 41.5mm Oris Aquis on the wrist today. This has been my favorite watch for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and the honeymoon phase is still going strong. Anyways, the reason why the Hulk prices have been going up is because, well, there's the obvious reason. It was discontinued in September 1st, just merely 2 weeks ago. And ever since it was discontinued, the prices have skyrocketed like crazy. It went from like 17, 18,000-ish to 20, 22, 23, 24,000. Another reason as to why these Hulk prices have been skyrocketing is because of secondary market dealers. Many dealers have been controlling the supply of the Hulk. They've been gathering and collecting a bunch of Hulks even before they were even discontinued. I've seen certain dealers, they literally posted pictures of like dozens of Hulks, making like smiley faces and stuff. And I don't really blame them, because a lot of them were anticipating the discontinuation of the Hulk, and they were just taking advantage of capitalism. They just wanted to bank on the hype and try to make as much money as possible on the Hulk, because they knew that prices were going to rise up. But the important question is whether these prices make sense. With prices increasing like crazy, I think it's important for us buyers to realize that we control the market prices of these watches, even the Hulk. And the last time I checked, many Hulks were listed for around $24,000, maybe $23,000. And I doubt that these watches are selling for this price, but I do think that they're selling for above $20,000, that's for sure. But dealers are pricing Hulk at that amount because people are willing to pay for it, because there's demand for it. You see, if there's no demand, the prices are going to eventually decrease, and this is where I think there is a bubble. And well, to give my honest opinion, I think the inflation of the price of the Hulk is absurd. Unless you're filthy rich with money to burn, I wouldn't recommend buying the Hulk at this market price. At these prices, there are just so many other better options that you can go off of. Like even the Holy Trinity pieces, you can buy, for example, a AP Royal Oak or a Vacheron Overseas. And these are Trinity pieces that have a better prestige and that are made, they just have better construction overall than a Rolex. And quite frankly, I don't think a Hulk is worth over $20,000. I don't think there's over $20,000 of value packed in a Hulk. Furthermore, I know Rolex Hulks were just discontinued, but objectively speaking, they're not that rare. Rolex manufactures around 800,000 watches annually, and Hulks have been in circulation for around 10 years. This means that there are at least over 100,000 sellable Hulks that exist in the market today. Finally, do you collect watches based on the hype that surrounds them, or do you purchase watches based on an emotional connection? That's really up to you to decide, and there's really no one correct way to collect watches, but our views sometimes can get swayed by the masses, so it's important to give a potential purchase a second look. Overall, I think the Hulk prices are overinflated, and there's no way that Hulks mechanically are worth over $20,000 in value. There are so many better watches in that price range, and I think the Hulk market is really controlled by the dealers, and really it's in a state of a bubble right now. And just like other bubbles, this bubble will eventually burst. So I recommend, if you genuinely want the Hulk, I recommend waiting a couple months until the prices climb down so you can save yourself a couple $1,000s. I can understand why the demand for Hulks have been going up, but objectively speaking, Hulks are not that rare. However, I do see Hulks becoming more and more collectible as time goes on, as the supply becomes more scarce. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you on how you want to spend your money. Just my 2 cents though, if you're gonna spend any money on a watch, make sure the emotional attachment comes before the financial one. Yes, you can absolutely make money on watches, but why do we buy watches? We buy watches for us to enjoy, and I think that we should prioritize our emotional connection to the watch over the benefit of potentially gaining maybe a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s. And yes, watches can be great investments, but if you want a more stable and secure investment, there are other places where you can put your money into, like index funds and real estate. Anyway, that'll be it for today, but comment down below what your thoughts are on the Hulk prices going up. And what do you guys think about the direction that Rolex is taking with their sports watches? As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for making it to the end, and I'll see you on the next video.